All right, we are back. It is Monday, July 6th. I am here with the lovely Alyssa Farah Griffin.
Hello, Brian.
Welcome back.
Thank you. You had a fan in the audience today.
I had a fan.
A female fan.
A lovely female fan. I think she was a nurse from Australia. I might be making that up.
Amazing.
Her name is Shirley.
Shirley.
At first, people said, Shirley, you can't be serious. You cannot be a fan of Brian's. But in fact, she was. Yes. She loves me, they said. How about that?
I loved that. That was very nice.
I told my wife, she rolled her eyes. But it was fine. So hi, Shirley. Thank you for listening. And thank you for watching. All right. So speaking of weird things happening, it was chaos this morning. So let's go through it. So we had a week off. I always have a fair amount of work to do on a week off. This week was beyond the pale. Everything, I had a lot going on.
That makes
all week.
One of us.
Yeah, so I'm glad you got a little bit of rest. But so yesterday, we're getting back. Everything's settling in, ready to tackle the final couple weeks of the season here. Mm-hmm. And I first get the video from Whoopi of her in front of an exploding volcano telling me she can't come to work.
She wins best excuse.
I mean, it's really good. I'm not going to lie. And she was very frustrated by it, actually. So we have that happen. Then suddenly, Anna Navarro can't get in from Miami. I'm down 2 hosts. I call Joy.
Yeah, somebody's got to moderate.
Yeah, Joy's not in the city. Please, Joy, for the love of God. She joked about me getting on my knees. It didn't come to that, but it could have.
It could have, yeah.
I was prepared. But we got Joy into Manhattan early to get her in. And then finally, I'm like, all right, we've only got 4 people, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then this morning, I'm woken up to a text from Sarah Haynes where she has like a plumbing disaster involving storm damage. Poor Sarah, she's beside herself, and she can't come in either. So now I'm down to 3 hosts. I'm like, all right, going to which guest hosts are available, what's going on. And then, of course, it dawned on us, Michelle Buteau.
That was such a clutch decision.
Oh, my gosh. And she was terrific. She was great.
She is absolutely lovely.
Yeah. Did you ever met her before?
So she and I were trying to remember if in the old studio, I'm a fan of her. So when you know someone's face,
yes,
you kind
definitely.
of can't remember if you've met them, or I'm like, do I just know you from TV? She was great because she's funny and she's that Joy kind of quippiness, but then she also does talk about politics and she's knowledgeable. So because people think you can kind of just rotate anyone in here and it'll work, and it will not work with just anyone. It will not work with just anyone. It can be deadly out there if you get a bad fill-in host.
Absolutely. And with only 4 of you out there, you really need everybody to be firing on all cylinders.
100%. I actually so this morning when the text thread with all the hosts started popping off when you were explaining what was happening, and I kept ignoring it. I was like, I feel like this is just Joy probably texting about what she wants to talk about today. But there were so many texts, and I was like, oh no, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down.
Yeah, that was the rough. And I really, the last thing I want to do in the morning is start a text thread with all the hosts because it always spirals into madness. It's a bad idea.
Right.
But I did it today. I literally halfway through it was going to be like, all right, new phone, who dis?
Right, exactly.
I cannot deal with
do what Whoopi does and just leave the chat.
I almost did. I almost added Robin, the head of the Hot Topics team, to the chat, and then I almost left it.
Yeah, and then left. You feel like you managed this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So in any case, we got through it, and it was actually a great show, I thought. We had a lot of stuff to cover. We talked a little bit about 4th of July breaks. You mentioned that you had a baptism, which is
little Justy got baptized. It was so sweet.
No limbo for Justy.
Exactly. So, I'm Episcopalian. My husband's Catholic, but it was so important to us and our families, just as families of faith, to get him baptized. And we had my brother-in-law and sister-in-law there, who are his godparents, and then my in-laws. And then Father Burt couldn't be there, who married us, because he's recovering. He's feeling a little under the weather. But Father Tony, who's very close to us, did it. And it was so cute. His little bonnet, and he was such a good boy. I have a very well-behaved baby. I feel like I have the sweetest, kindest baby. If he fusses, it's only because something very legitimate is wrong. He's hungry. He has a dirty diaper. He maybe has gas, or he's tired. That's it.
That's the dream.
He's never naughty at this age. It's probably going to make up for it in spades when he's a teenager or a toddler. But right now, I was so proud of him. And he's just a beautiful, kind boy.
You did mention he's doing an eagle screech. Is that what you said?
Sure. Oh, yeah, that is the new thing. But it's excited. He's smiling. He'll go, "Ee!" What is that sound? He's really learning his voice. There's a lot of goo goo, and really says it with his full chest. He's just It's the most magical thing. And we took him up to Lake Winnipesaukee, which is like our family happy place. Put his little toes in the lake for the first time. We took him swimming in the pool.
Aw.
And he loved it. Like, he's just a gamer. I think he's going to be like my husband's kind of into not extreme sports, but like he's a very good athlete, like a very good skier, water skier, all that. Like, I feel like little Justin's going to get that from him.
That's
rather
awesome.
than hopefully not my athletic ability, which is zero.
Yeah, that's all right. But either way, he'll be great. But that's really fun.
It was so sweet. It was like a very wholesome 4th of July.
Oh, that's
What'd
sweet.
you guys do? You
I went
South
to.
Carolina.
I was in South
Yeah.
Carolina, Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is like a kind of our family special place. And Heather and I got married there years ago, and I've been going there with my family for 30 years. So it's we rent the house with my parents and just my mom now, and my sister and her family, and it was really nice.
So sweet.
It was good. All the time I wasn't working was really nice.
Right, exactly. Those few moments when you weren't working.
We had one really cool thing happen. So for my wedding band was from a place called the Jazz Corner down there. This band called D's Guys, Reggie D's and D's Guys, and they're awesome. I planned my whole wedding around getting this band's availability, and they're still there. So it's kind of a cool thing that we can go back and see them perform. And we went there, and for the first time, I brought my kids. And my brother-in-law mentioned to the lead singer that my 14-year-old daughter can sing a little bit. Yeah. And he surprised her and called her up on stage. Oh. And with no prep, no anything else, she performed with the band. She sang the song Hallelujah. And
beautiful song.
Brought the house down. She was so good.
She's incredible. You have very gifted daughters.
I was so proud of her, and just the composure, no matter what. I was really 14 years old. I could never do this.
I could, if I had to speak in front of the class, I'd be like shaking like a leaf.
And it was like a jaded jazz band audience
so
that
cool.
all went nuts for her. So it was
so cool.
I was very proud. Oh. And it was a lovely week, so that was good. Speaking of 4th of July celebrations. Trump's America 250 celebration. Now, we talked about the crowd size or lack thereof. Why do you think people didn't go in the numbers that maybe the administration was expecting?
I mean, okay, so candidly, I was actually a little surprised the turnout was that low, just because
it was really hot. I do have to say, it was crazy.
That must be because there still are diehard Trump fans. They're dwindling, but there are still a lot of them. So I thought he would have at least filled up a little more. Like, that Fox clip was so funny, where he's like, it actually is more than it looks like. We're like, we can see, you can literally see the whole thing. I kept getting served content of it. A girl who was on The Bachelor one season, I guess spoke. I guess she's kind of MAGA maybe now or something. Mm-hmm. And you see she's literally speaking to, there's no one there. There's 4 people in the front. And I'm like, good for her, because I think I would probably just leave at that point.
Right.
I think it's a combo of the heat and then the divisiveness. The 4th of July is supposed to be a day, eat your hot dog, enjoy the grass in your toes, say the Pledge of Allegiance and enjoy your friends and family. It does not need to be a day of litigating politics. Save fighting over politics with your family for Thanksgiving. The 4th of July is a good celebratory day that's not divisive. And when the president decided it was going to be his day to give his big speech, I think people were like, it's just going to be like every other Trump rally. I can watch it. If you're someone who's going to tune in for one, watch it from home with AC. You know he's going to do the greatest hits. You know what he's going to say at this point. I could honestly do a Trump speech. I know the hits he's going to do. Mm-hmm. It had to be that, right? That people are like, I'd rather be grilling at my house with my family, and if I am inclined to watch, I'm going to do it at home with AC.
I mean, you're asking the wrong person,
yeah,
because no
we're
matter,
not the audience.
I'm not going for
we're
any.
Not the audience,
if it's Barack Obama, if it's Donald Trump, I'm not going to stand in the heat and listen 100%. To anybody speak. It's just
I need
not
to
for
be
me.
Near water on the 4th, whether it's a pool or an ocean or the lake.
Yeah, or near hot dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might go to Coney Island to watch the hot dog eating contest before I do that. Yeah,
but it does seem like, I don't know how they botched this so bad. I think I could put on a really good state fair. You basically do all 50 states, have the best food from each, and have different food stations, have music from each. Now this band from Louisiana, this band from wherever.
Right.
But it didn't seem like there was a whole lot. It kind of feels like they built the infrastructure and then were the people will come, but not much was happening at it.
He got a much better turnout for UFC and things like that.
Yeah, because there's at least some kind of a draw if that's your thing.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not wrong about the speech. It did definitely get political as expected, and both here and at the Mount Rushmore speech, he leans into the evils of communism and the threats of the Democrats trying to bring communism back.
They're doing communism.
And I guess the question I have is, It's clearly like there's a room where they decided this is going to work. This is the thing to hit. The Supreme Court ruled on trans issues.
We've lost that issue. Yeah.
This is the new thing. What do you think? Is this going to be effective?
Okay, so Trump randomly tweeting, calling Democrats commies or interspersing it into speeches will not be effective. What has the potential to be effective, and I think we kind of got into this on maybe Friday or Thursday show of last week, is Republicans ahead of the midterms are going to try to portray all Democrats, especially Democrats in swing districts, as completely ideologically aligned with the more far left Democrats like Mamdani and these candidates in New York. That is going to be a big effort. They're going to try to say like all Democrats want to abolish prisons. All Democrats want to abolish the police and defund ICE and, eradicate or do away with private property, and some of these more extreme statements that some of these individuals made. In some cases, it could work. So think of, Mike Lawler is the moderate Republican who represents maybe 90 minutes north of the city, like Hudson Valley kind of area. He's a decent guy. It's a district that Biden won, Obama won, but he's gotten elected as a Republican. It's considered one of the tightest swing districts in the country. The Democrat is likely favored to win there because it's such a negative environment for Republicans right now. Trump is wildly unpopular. Republicans on Capitol Hill aren't getting much done. But I could see ads running there that try to link the Democrat, who's actually quite moderate and she has an impressive resume, to people like this Chevalier woman who just got the nomination here in the city. They may try to, pin her language to her. That's what happens in politics, and that could work.
I remember a lot of people trying to paint Biden as defund the police and things like that, which he wasn't.
And he wasn't. But then there's that. It's interesting you brought that up. And so what's going to have to happen, by the way, is this candidate, now I'm blanking on her name. She's a good candidate. She's going to need to speak for herself and say, no, these are what my positions are. And at times it may mean creating distance from somebody like Mamdani, who is very popular here in New York City.
Right.
But the rest of the country is not New York City. Hudson Valley is not even New York City. So this is where politics is always going to be politics. I don't think there's anything wrong with if Republicans are like, we're going to try to tie everyone to the more extreme angles. Right. That's what you do in elections. What I want and expect are candidates capable of defining themselves and pushing back when they disagree with.
Right, which is arguably something they haven't done a good job of in the last few election cycles. Another big story that we briefly mentioned on the show today and kind of just came out of nowhere, but I'm glad you're now a soccer fan.
I am a football fan.
A football fan. Look at you.
Yes.
How have you been enjoying the World Cup? I've enjoyed it quite a bit.
I love it. So I admit I'm an armchair sports fan.
Sure.
I get dialed in when the competition is real. So ahead of the World Series, I want to suddenly follow baseball. I start tuning in, ahead of the Super Bowl. But I get really invested.
You're watching the Knicks. Yeah.
I got into the Knicks. You realize how fun it is, and sports are that one thing that you can just tune out, the news and the politics and everything. And I'm also a diehard Ted Lasso fan, so I feel like I sort of understand the game.
You kind of get it. Yeah, me too.
That's honestly everything I know about soccer, football is from Ted Lasso. Although I did see a funny tweet that was like, I've watched Ted Lasso. How many more football matches are there until there's a winner? I'm like, they didn't cover this on the show.
Yeah, when they get to the penalty kicks, I'm like, I don't remember this.
Yeah,
in
I don't
Ted Lasso.
remember this.
This is different. Yeah.
But I'm super into it. I always am going to root for America first, but I kind of want Argentina to win just because I like Messi, and I feel like this is probably his last World Cup, and that would be a very exciting way to go out.
That would be cool.
And I like that there have been upsets. My husband follows it closely, so he fills me in on all the drama. Oh, also one, which I don't know if you know this, but with the announcers, I guess not the announcers, I guess the commentators, two of the players who are in the middle of the panel are very close, and they don't like this other panelist, he was explaining to me. And he's like, watch the body language. You could see how they box him out. And I was like, I sit on a panel. I know body language and getting boxed out when you are. It was so funny.
That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Alexi Lawless is the one that people think they hate.
Yes, that's the one.
There's a lot of controversy going on right now. Of course, you think you're getting away from politics, but
I know,
not so fast, about the red card given to U.S. player Folarin Balogun. Mm-hmm. What's your take on this story? So basically, for those who don't know, there was a red card given, which means the player is thrown out of the game and then suspended for another game.
Yeah.
And when you watch back the penalty, it's clear to me that the penalty should not have been given. It should not have been a red card. It should have been a lighter yellow card. Now, based on this, and by after this happened, people were upset and outraged, and America's best player not going to be able to play moving forward. And then everyone was saying there's no way to appeal it. It's done. It's over. And then yesterday, out of nowhere, we find out that they're removing the suspension. The game's tonight. And now it comes out that Donald Trump got involved. And had this, this egregious wrong call fixed. But people don't like the way it happened. What are your thoughts on this?
So I stole my joke on air from a girlfriend of mine. She texted our group thread and she's like, "This is the one Trump corruption that I actually support." Because so I agree. It should have been a yellow card. It was it was inappropriate, but I don't think he should have been thrown out of the next game. It's classic Trump. Trump's gonna Trump. This is also the same FIFA president who gave him kind of the made up award all that.
The Peace Award.
Yeah, the Nobel, the FIFA Peace Award, the FIFA Peace Prize. It is kind of classic him. I don't love it from a sportsmanship angle, even though I like that he's gonna be back playing for the USA, but I also think that there's a lot of Americans who probably love it. Just can't.
Oh yeah, no, I
think people are like, hell yeah, you advocated for our team, let's go.
Right.
I think is this the furthest the U.S. has been in how many years?
If they win this, I don't think they've been this far.
That's what it'll be. Okay. Yeah.
And I think they were 7-1 or 1-7 in the last 8 times they were in the last round. So.
But I didn't like how I said, okay, so my other thing on why I love the World Cup, two other things. It's the most global sport, soccer, football is. I love seeing the Arab nations are excellent at soccer. Europeans are, Asians are, obviously South America, we're getting better at it. It really does feel unlike, because you can't really say that about anything. American football, not nearly as global. Basketball's pretty global. Baseball's becoming more global, but soccer, it literally unifies the whole world. So I think that's been really cool to watch. I also like seeing some of these developing nations really get their chance on the world stage. I watched the Iraq game, seeing these players, this is probably such a dream for them to get to compete. But my hot take was I like the World Cup more than the Olympics. Which we then argued about over family dinner. I think it's it's the whole world coming together, but it's one game and you can just get so invested in it. Sometimes there's almost too much happening with the Olympics that I don't know. I think it's so much fun to watch.
It's so, I feel like every time the World Cup happens, everyone expects America to run wild for football, soccer, and it never really takes. And this time it feels different.
Yeah, it feels different.
And I think it's obviously because it's in America, or North America is part of it. Also because America's doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well.
But I think the Ted Lasso effect is real.
I
swear
totally
to God,
agree.
I think that's a thing.
I think so.
To the point you made before, the last time the U.S. men's team reached the quarterfinals of a World Cup was 2002.
Wow.
So this has
been more than 20 years.
Yeah, this is a big deal. And I mean, I'm really conflicted on it because I always feel like in sports, the most important thing at the end is that they get it right.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But if this was another country, I'd be losing my mind. So I don't know.
That's actually pretty much how I feel because I didn't agree with the call in the first place. But yeah, if Georgia Maloney called in and was Italy was wrong and they reversed it, I'd be that's sort of.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't know. I'm conflicted because then part of me sort of. Would we hate it if Biden did it, or would we say it was awesome?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm kind of saying it's awesome a little bit now. I got to be honest. I want the guy to play. He should play.
And we should mention he is a U.S. citizen through birthright citizenship,
he is, yes.
upheld by the United States Supreme Court.
That's correct. Yes, absolutely. Technically, with FIFA rules, he still could play for America because of his parents, even if he wasn't a citizen.
But
still, birthright citizenship coming through here. Yes. It's important. All right, so now the other big event of the weekend, and you're our resident table Swiftie.
Yes.
Let's talk about the wedding because I was getting alerts all weekend. Who was there? What was happening? What were your thoughts? You were very anti-MSG.
I was up until it literally happened, I was anti-MSG. Mm-hmm. And my rationale is because I would want something different. I think I'm projecting what she would have wanted, and I need to accept as close as I feel to Taylor, we are different women. I'm glad she did it because she got to have a wedding that she got to control the privacy of and the chaos that surrounds her. I mean, this is one of the biggest superstars on the planet. And there's not really any leaked photos. I've seen two. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her Christian Dior dress looked like. I'm spiraling over it. I need to see it, but she will at some point release what she wants to. And she's entitled to that. I, as somebody who loves celebrity culture and follows drama and gossip and all of that, I also feel very strongly that we don't own celebrities and we are not entitled to know every little detail of their lives and get, even though it can feel like that, we don't. And she deserved to have a special day that she could control the chaos and like what people see. So in that regard, I think it was the right thing. It also does, like from the tiny bit I saw, I bet they made it amazing. Like when you have a limitless budget, basically, you can make anything gorgeous. And I think they leaned into, as you said, like these are two people who sell out stadiums. So they made it like, you know, Paul McCartney performed, Stevie Nicks did. I think they made it more of like a show, like 1,000 guests. It was more like a concert and a big celebration, it sounds like. So I think that's amazing. I am a little chapped that GMA hosts got invited and no View hosts did.
Yeah, but well, I think they have a special relationship.
They have a special relationship.
I think
They've known her. They actually know her in real life.
They do. Here's my question. Do you think it remains private, or do you think that she has some sort of release? Are we going to see a streaming version of the wedding?
Oh.
I mean, that's the question.
My prediction was that they do a Vogue cover, that she's probably posed for like Annie Leibovitz and you're going to see like her dress on the cover.
So you don't think we're going to see video of like her reading her 20 minutes of vows, which is what apparently happened?
I don't know. Knowing Taylor, we might. We're going to see, she's going to decide what we see. And I think there's going to be stuff that comes out. I'd be curious how much though. By the way, I point out to my producer, 20-minute vows, that's long. That's like long. All Too Well 10-minute version twice.
It's amazing. No, yeah. I mean, I'm stealing this from the internet, but the idea of like, is there anyone who's more stressed out than Travis Kelce?
Right.
Having to read
one
vows.
Of the greatest lyricists of our time, and you have to write something to collect like your love and express it to her with 1,000 of the biggest celebrities in the world watching. I mean, that's high
tough.
pressure.
That's Super Bowl level pressure, I think.
Totally.
So anyway, it's great. I do want to, I mean, I respect her for keeping it private. I also will be very excited to watch it if they show things.
I also think just the fact that, I mean, she did an interview on the Graham Norton show like a while back where she said something about like, she would hate to have to be narrowing down to like the invite list to keep it small. Yeah. So she kind of alluded to the fact that she was going to go with a big wedding. I think she must have kind of invited like all of her celebrity friends. Cause I mean, there were people there that I didn't know she and J-Lo were friends, but like J-Lo was there.
Sure.
Apparently Adam Sandler's very close with them because he officiated.
So I did a deep dive on this. So obviously,
tell me the background.
Well, Travis was in Happy Gilmore too.
That's
right. So they were connected there. And then I went back and I read also, Adam Sandler had spoken about how wonderful Taylor was to his daughters at concerts at Eras Tour and stuff like that. So apparently over time,
they built a relationship.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest surprise, that he was the officiant.
Yeah.
I've met Adam and talked to him. He's a smart, funny, lovely guy.
Right.
Like, you know, I used to produce him on Letterman, and I mean, you know, but it's not who
I would have guessed. I love
to marry you. Yeah.
I'm like 90s kid, such an Adam Sandler fan.
If you were going to get married by a celebrity, which one would you pick?
Oprah or Whoopi.
Oh yeah, Whoopi's
right?
pretty good.
Whoopi, although she could get sidetracked, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it'd be one of the two of them.
She'd ask if you were pregnant mid-vows.
Exactly.
That happened again today.
Are we doing? I know. Can't get through anything.
No, you really can't. All right. The other big event happening this week on The View, after talking about it over and over again, Kyle Cooke and Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House are coming on The View this Thursday. I know this is extremely exciting for you. Talk about your Super Bowls.
I'm so excited.
What do you want to ask them?
Well, I don't want to like tell them in advance. No, I'm kidding. I will. Because I want to keep it a little bit forward looking, but I'm going to do one backward looking one because just the recap is the Summer House scandal, where basically Kyle's soon-to-be ex-wife, his separated wife, is now openly dating another housemate who is also her best friend's ex-boyfriend.
Right.
So there's all this footage from the season that just aired where you see West and Amanda, who are now dating, like she's got her hand on the back of his head. He's reaching around like this. And now with the knowledge watching it back, it looks like things started earlier than they're telling us.
Oh.
And I'm hoping that we can even maybe pull the B-roll because Kyle said he's trusting their timeline. I want to ask if he really does. It just looks like I'm a married woman with very close male friends. My close male friends are never touching me like that. Like, it's just something's off there. But then forward looking, I love In the City, which is the spinoff, and it just wrapped its first season. So I'll ask something related to that because it's had some good, fun, juicy drama.
Yeah, but we want the other stuff.
I need to get Sunny really bought into the Summer House scandal because I think she will be if I
think it's right up her alley.
It's right up her alley.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the conversation you just had right there. Like, would you let let your male friends touch you in that way? I mean,
exactly.
Would you let Manny's female friends touch him in that way?
100%. And if your ex-wife or your ex-spouse starts dating your friend, what do you do? You know, murder.
We need Sonny's buy-in. Yeah, murder may be the case that they gave us. All right. So speaking of relationship drama, there was a topic on the list today that relates to that. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen asked about 600 people to describe a time when they've been dishonest with their romantic partner, and they found that a lot of the lies were about finances. Do you ever think there's a good reason to lie to Justin?
I am okay with white lies. You should never lie about finances. So finances are always one of the biggest factors in drivers of divorce. We made it a point to like sit down and talk through all of that before we got married because you don't want surprises. White lies that like things like, does this look nice? And maybe if it doesn't, I'll redirect. Listen, my husband is so handsome. I'm trying to think of something I've white lied to him about because I always think he looks great. And then he thinks that I'm lying to him when I say like, yeah, you look great. He'll be like, no, it doesn't, you know? I think if it's something that would just like hurt their feelings or if they're like, hey, how did I do at this? If they maybe didn't do the best, I would maybe be like, I thought you did pretty well. Like, I'm not going to go overboard, but I'm not going to just hurt their feelings and be like, you really screwed that up. Unless it's something that they need to know that.
Yeah.
I'm more the type to protect someone's feelings. But I'm still going to try to be as close to honest as I can with my partner because I would want the same.
I have trouble lying to my wife. I really do. I can't really do it.
The only place I could do it is like, if it's something that like, yeah, like, do I look okay? If for some reason I thought he didn't, I don't think I could be like, you don't look great. Like, I think I would just feel bad.
No, I can't tell the difference between dresses or anything else. I'm like, yeah, it looks great. Like I do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks good at everything.
Yeah.
It is true. I can't. He also would know if I was lying. I think I can't lie to my.
Yeah, my wife says I have a lying face that she can tell, and it's like I'm like kind of half smirking and trying to hold it back. It's a problem for me. And finances, I mean, she wouldn't care. I can't get her to focus on finances, so that's the least of it. Like she'd have to pay attention. But the one thing she said when we were dating, I now have very nice credit, good credit. When we were dating, I had poor credit going back to youthful indiscretions. Yeah. And she mentioned after we were married for like a year or two, she's like, if I knew about your credit, I don't know that we would have gotten married. I'm like, oh, okay. I hadn't lied, but it was I hadn't mentioned it, I guess.
Justin likes to joke that he like bought low and could sell high with me because when we were engaged, what I was telling those interns earlier, I had just lost my job in the White House. I was like, for all intents and purposes, unemployed. I was like part-time doing some consulting work or whatever. I had like just a little bit of savings to my name and like very few job prospects, but like he knew that. And I had to be very upfront with him that like you might be floating my boat for a bit, but luckily I pulled myself up and we did well.
I proposed when I was unemployed.
Yeah, you got to do it.
There you go. Yeah. I think I was just bored and needed something to do. I needed a project, but that's what happened. And then
then it's a motivator.
It is. And then, I got a job before we got married. And
planning our wedding was like a big motivator to me too, to like get back to work and like start like really get my career back on track.
Yeah. All right. So don't lie to your spouse.
Don't lie. You really shouldn't.
Yeah. No. It's not going to
end well. They also will know that nobody knows you better than your spouse.
Yeah, no, they'll always figure it out in the end. All right. On that note, thank you for joining me today, Alyssa. Yes. Tomorrow I'll be back with Joy Behar. Always fun. We'll hear about how I begged her to come in today, and we'll see you then.